What was the point of that video? Because all I heard was um my papa used to say never pass up a good opportunity to shut the fuck up. Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man.
Welcome back on another episode, you guys. I hope you all are doing very, very good. Beyonce's album has been the talk on the street of the media. There are so many people giving their take on the Cowboy Carter album. There's this creator and artist, I think she goes by the name Sam Doll on TikTok. She talked about how she does not like the album, how the album sucks so much, how the album is not giving Beyonce. Like, this is literally her words. She said the album is not giving Beyonce ish. Like, if you want to go into country music, you might as well just sound like the Beyonce that we know. And a lot of people are asking her questions like, how do you expect her to sound? Like, can you please give context? Or you're trying to compare her. Maybe you should phrase that very, very well. Talk about how the album is not worthy of album of the year, how so many effort is not put into the album cover. She said so many things. She said Blackbird as well is trash. And there have been people stitching her video letting her know there's so much meaning behind this song in this album. So you should just take time to educate yourself instead of coming online to just trash a work that someone has been on since 2015. She made a video, an apology to what she said, but an apology that contains a but is literally not an apology. She still doubled down on how the album sucks to her. People are coming at her seriously because a lot of people believe that she's not understanding the fact that people are telling her to educate herself, that so many meanings are behind this song. Her two videos that she posted has been deleted. So I believe you guys are still going to be able to get the context when you start watching the stage. So without wasting much time, let's just get right into it.
If you're not going to go ape shit, like, why even cover it? Like, if you're not going to make it Beyonce-ish, then why even do it? Like,
maybe I'm tweaking, but her saying if you're not gonna go ape shit and sound like Beyonce, that didn't feel right somewhere right here. Like, I don't know, you could have used like a different verbiage, a different like comparison. Like, I don't know. Also, please tell me right now what the fuck Beyonce sounds like, because I bet if you tell me what the fuck she's supposed to sound like, it's gonna be a microaggression. Because what the fuck does that even mean? What the fuck is Beyonce supposed to sound like?
I did not like Beyonce's album. If you're in the Beehive, scroll. This is just my opinion. No one has to get mad.
Some people can only recognize the catchy tune, while a lot of us really love album cohesion and the storytelling behind it. Beyonce opened up with American Requiem to talk about how painful it was being on that CMA stage and how the country music industry didn't accept her. And then from there, she went into Blackbird, a cover song where she featured 4 Black female country music artists. The song was originally written for the Little Rock Nine during the Civil Rights Movement. And basically what she's saying to the 4 artists on her song is, hey, I know how painful it is to try to make it in the country music world. The music industry is tough. The country music industry is especially tough as a Black woman. And then she goes into 16 Carriages to talk about her struggles of getting through the music industry and finding success. Not only that, balancing life, and life is a struggle. Then she goes into Protector to say, hey, Rumi, you know what? I'm going to be your protector throughout life when you go through these struggles, because everything beautiful has its thorns, like a rose, my rose, but you didn't get
With her, but she was like, why does she keep making up that people are after Jay-Z? Like, no one wants your man.
I'm going to get to my main point about Jay-Z and the portion I'm stitching in a second. But first, I want to say I disagree with this person's entire take about Cowboy Carter. It's an incredible album. And if it wasn't for you, like, it's for Black people anyway, as Kev on stage says. Like, your album that tortured whatever comes out on the 19th. Have fun with that. Back to our regularly scheduled programming, we do something with Jay-Z we do with no other billionaires. We judge Jay-Z by his looks. And what we know is that so many millionaires and billionaires are not attractive men. They're old, decrepit, etc., but they have these young, attractive women around them. And we fundamentally understand that the wealth, power, status that comes with that much money makes them attractive to a specific type of woman. And so Jay-Z, who's one of the most accomplished artists of all time, who is incredibly wealthy, has incredible business acumen. Oh, and there's an addition of the fact that for so many people, the power of being able to say they took Beyonce's man makes him extremely attractive. And so when we judge him purely by his looks, we are bypassing the accomplishments that Jay-Z has made. Well, Beyonce sees it. She lives it. She's experiencing it. And she's trying to tell us this thing is happening. But we want to be like, Jay-Z is so ugly. Like when Beyonce first met Jay-Z, she was enamored with him being Hove. Him being this unbelievable number one hit after number one record. Like that was part of the allure. And immediately I'm like, By looking at Jay-Z simply as Beyonce's husband and not looking at him for what he has accomplished from a business perspective, all that he has done, then we miss the fact that there is a reason why women are after him, that they've been after him his whole career, that he got Beyonce, and she's living that reality and singing accordingly. And if you can believe that Jeff Bezos cheated on his wife, and that somehow makes sense, but that Jay-Z didn't, it tells me that you don't see Jay-Z in the same way. So leave that woman alone, let her tell her truth. Put some respect on Jay-Z's name. And thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Do it. Blackbird was just straight up boring. I'm sorry. And Jolene, best part of Jolene is
Oh, brother, this guy stinks. Every video I've seen stitching this video is just educating her. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to tell you to shut the fuck. Baby, Blackbird was not made for you. It's in the name. Blackbird. You came on here to give your opinion about what? Because you're a music artist? Girl, we see the Spotify link in your bio. That shit is whack. Like Bougie Brownski said, you bitches love to come on this app and act loud, pale, and dumb. You love to talk about music when Dolly P, a 21-second sound bit off of Cowboy Carter, has more streams than your entire career. Please don't talk with your 333 listeners a month. Please.
I did not like Beyonce's album. If you're in the Beehive, scroll. This is just my opinion. No one has to get mad.
I got a question. Come here. The rent was due, right? You got some invoices to pay, don't you? Because, like, what was this? What was this, Samantha? What was this? Like, why did you do this? We keep telling you guys that it's not a personality trait to just, like, not like Beyonce. And that's what it's given, because for someone to have such a strong, visceral reaction to an album that just came with, like, you ain't even sat with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's giving hater. It's very weird behavior, because whenever I don't like an artist, I go out of my way to not listen to that person's music. But it seems that y'all can't get it. Like, y'all can't get it in y'all mind, and y'all have to, like, listen to come up with these hot takes that no one asked for. Just say the bills were due!
Unless you think you're bad for me, I'm not gonna change my mind.
When I said Cowboy Carter was not an album that I liked. I saw everybody's furious comments. I got some messages.
Contrary to popular belief, I don't believe every sentiment like this is rooted in anti-black, but I do absolutely believe that hers was rooted in anti-black. Because you say the album is boring, you say you don't like the album, you say that you think that Blackbird is boring or whatever. People respond to you about the historical context of the song Blackbird, blah, blah, blah. You respond, okay, I think that's a beautiful concept. That doesn't mean that I don't think that the cover is boring. I'm not here to say that you have to like the album. In fact, I haven't heard all of the album. It's pretty. But there's something to be said about you refusing to respond about the context. Saying like, sorry, I said that. I still don't like the song, but I get what y'all are saying. It's not the same as, you know what, I get what y'all are saying. And with that being said, I should have shut the fuck. Because nowhere in there do you say that you were not a fan of the song Blackbird. And to me, I like all the versions of Tennessee Whiskey. Every single fucking one of them. I have a preference for the Chris Stapleton one. But overall, I like Tennessee Whiskey no matter who was fucking singing. And I can argue that it's beautifully done because it was beautifully done. Blackbird sounds amazing on that fucking album. But there's something to be said about the digging your heels in about like, yeah, I'll apologize for that because that was kind of outwardly racist. But like, no, I have to announce that I don't like this album. But what the fuck do I know?
Besides the fact that it's ambitious and interesting, I don't think it's good enough to be album of the year. I think
as a white woman who considers herself a Beyonce fan and a Taylor Swift fan, I would like to say the quiet part out loud, and that is that the hesitancy to label Beyonce's Cowboy Carter as a serious album of the year contender, or even say, to go as far as to say that you don't think it's good enough to be album of the year, and that you predict anger when it loses. There's something a little sinister there. I'm not gonna lie. And listen, maybe I am overthinking, maybe I am overanalyzing, but it doesn't take a genius or even a Taylor Swift fan to know that there is another highly anticipated album that is coming out this year that will be eligible next year for album of the year. One that is ostensibly going to be an album of the year nominee. And granted, I don't know for sure that that is something that is playing into your commentary, that specific comment you made. But it's a little hard to look at an album that is being received like this, and then hear your take categorizing many of the songs as boring or the writing as lazy, and not immediately wonder. And not to lean into all of my best friends who have jokingly labeled me Jacob from Abbott Elementary, but the subtle negging and dismissing of a Black woman's work, an album that she specifically made after not feeling welcomed and feeling overtly ostracized from a certain event, a certain genre, feels just off. Last but not least, I will point you in the direction of my brilliant friend Shelby, who stitched this video as well. She basically, just to summarize, said, no one's calling you racist. No one is saying anything like that. It's just to hear this kind of dialogue so quickly after an album was released, one that is being praised critically, it has fan acclaim. It feels like the subtle art of dismissal that leads to greater implications of an album, a body of work being dismissed on a larger scale. Anyway, I will be over here listening to Yaya till my neighbors call the cops.
It was very good. The same way I don't really think the national anthem is a great song. That's what I'm...
So you mean the way you think the national anthem is just a bad song because it's boring? That makes it a little bit more valid than why I would think the national anthem is a bad song, because it's racist. And based in bigotry. And listening to you in this so-called apology video makes it very clear that, one, you don't understand how to and you also don't understand a lot of concepts behind some songs. Okay? So you're admitting that you were informed the intent behind Blackbird, and you just don't like the song. The song is boring. So did you think the song was boring when Paul McCartney wrote it for the purpose that he did and performed it? Or did you think it was boring when the Carpenters sang that song? Or did you just feel the need to get on the internet and blast Beyonce for the sake of looking like a contrarian? By the way, you're talking a whole lot. What's your music sound like, girl? I see that you do music. What does your music sound like? Because if it's anything how you keep getting on the internet displaying your ignorance, is going to be wild, especially since you have a video talking about the fact, I like dirty, girly pop. Oh my God. Because, you know, maybe that's what it is for you. The songs just can't be boring. Everything has to be a bop that you feel like you can just hold out to. And I mean, respect if that's what you want to do. But just at this point, you know that you're doing something that's offensive and you're still just, and I need you to, okay, that's just do that. Do that. You're not even a legit music critic. Just because you fancy yourself a musician doesn't make you a legit critic. Okay? Good time. So maybe if you don't like the album, just shh. Okay? Just shh. And let people say what they want to say, and just take this L, because it's just obvious you don't have the kind of taste that you should be listening to Beyonce, especially since you said it needs to sound like Beyonce. You said that shit like you actually know her and you know what she's about, and that she hasn't been a musical chameleon throughout her entire career. Girl, come on. Again, if I haven't made it clear at this point, I think at this point it's just better for you to and do something with the hair. Okay.
I did not like Beyonce's album. If you're in the Beehive, scroll. This is just my opinion. No one has to get mad.
This feels like a microaggression. This feels like you don't like the work not because it's bad, but because it doesn't center you. Which is ultimately why Beyonce is that girl to Black people. Like, Beyonce centers us. Beyonce is one of the most powerful, prominent figures in the world. And she centers not just Black people, but specifically the African-American Southern experience. And that does not mean you have to be African-American and Southern to enjoy her artistry. I am just noticing a trend of a lot of people who don't fit those boxes being outraged that they're not necessarily a targeted audience, and then having opinions without any research or bullet points ready. Like Taylor Swift, beautiful girl, power in that pen. But I don't have any shared cultural identity with her, and she doesn't speak to any of my lived experiences. I've never been in a relationship, so her music's not going to resonate with me in any way. That doesn't take away from her. I'm literally not the targeted audience.
Blackbird was just straight up boring. I'm sorry.
One of my favorite things about Beyonce is how much she educates me. I feel like I learn so much from her. Every time a new album comes out, there's like a new layer of something for me to dive into and educate myself. I've seen this girl on my For You page before, and I know that she's a huge Beatles fan. And so the fact that she singled out that song feels a little charged. Her cover of Blackbird is doing two things. First of all, that song is about the civil rights movement, and she did it in her Beyonce fashion to make it about the Little Rock Nine. That was like what she was highlighting in that song. And then the second thing that she was doing is that she put all of these Black women in the industry on that song to give them their recognition and to give them their flowers and to give them a platform. So singling out that song specifically and calling this album lazy, it just feels that's a lazy take. It's like you didn't do the prerequisite reading for the class. Part of being a white Beyonce fan is that you have to recognize that there's a barrier to entry with some of her stuff. There's like two things that are happening all the time. There's liking and enjoying the music because her music's incredible, and then there's also like doing the research and the understanding and like taking on the assignment of having to like really understand what she's serving us, because she's not thinking about us when she's making this music. It's not for us. So if you want to enjoy it, you need to learn. I just think that this take is like so poorly placed, and to say that this album is lazy is crazy. Beyonce's never been lazy for a day in her life. There's actually no evidence that she's ever slept. But to say that, it just kind of feels like, so that's not enough.
Beyonce's album is actually very great. Have you guys listened to it? Let me know your take on it. And I know it's pretty long, but have you listened to it? Like, have you taken time to listen to it and, read the lyrics while listening? Because there's so much being said, there's so much being explained in that album. This album hasn't even had time to breathe, and you're already online literally criticizing someone's work, what they have been working on since 2015, and you are already talking about how it's not worthy of album of the year. You don't like it. It sucks. The writers are lazy and that. Like, why would you just wake up and be a hater? It was literally doubling down to kind of make sense to people, but it's still not making sense, because even through that, she was talking about how the same way that she feels that the national anthem is boring. And there was another teacher, another woman talking about, you feel like the national anthem is boring, but she feels like the national anthem is racist. So we are not the same person. There are some people talking about how she's doing that to get the attention, but I think she has some few loyal fans who are talking about how she has been, that she's Canadian. Her take on civil rights is going to be very, very different, that she does not think that she is doing this for the views or to gain that attention. She as well went live talking about how she has, black friends, she's not racist. Feel like she know already that what she was about to post was going to go viral, but she did not expect this amount of people to come at her. So the heat is beginning to be a little bit too much for her. And there are people saying some people don't like the album. Let them say that they don't like the album. If they don't like it, they don't need to get hot for saying that they do not like the album. I really like to hear what you guys think about what this lady said about Beyonce's album. This comment said she does not have to like it. She doesn't have to have a reason to not liking it. I think this is what this person meant. Just like the word no is a full sentence, it is the same thing. There are a few comments like this, like saying she does not have to like it. So what do you guys think? Another person said the storytelling goes over their head. I think they are used to early 2000 Beyonce. Beyonce pours so much history into the music, and this is what people were trying to tell her, like there's a lot of meaning behind this thing. Like, you can as well educate yourself and get where people are coming from. Like, and if you know you're going to do an apology that there is a but in there, you might as well just stick to your main points and not stress yourself or even try to double down. Another person said, this album is a beautiful onion, and every time I listen, I hear something I love even more. Then the symbolism woven throughout, and the fact that it is an album, not a single after single, can't get enough. Another person said, Sam Dot tried to curate a certain audience. Like, the creator who talked about how she does not like the album, her name is Sam Dot. So this person said, Sam Dot tried to create a certain audience so it might move the needle for her career. A woman with a modicum of talent might have stolen a bit of profit, but not Sam Dot. Love are ambitious, though. Another person said, that is why I did not even stitch her directly, because I did not want her to feel attacked. But never mind, honestly, she knew the attention she would get, and now she cannot handle it, because she's now going live talking about, oh, I have black friends, I can't be racist, and there are so many people talking about there's this racist intent behind the video that you posted. Another person said, I commented on her apology video to put the shovel down and quit digging. She blocked me. She will absolutely die on this hill she isn't listening. The last one I have here said, white women are obligated to do the work of reconstructing their understanding of race and intersectionality because it saturates the daily lived experience of all other women. I love this last comment. Let me know what you guys think about what people are saying. Let me know your take on how even apologizing and talking about the album cannot win album of the year when no one is literally even talking about that for now. People are just listening, trying to understand the lyrics and the work of this album, and you are there dragging and saying it cannot win album of the year. That's the same way you don't like Blackbird. I think there's a lot of ego as well behind that take, and this is one of the reasons why more people are even coming at her. Let me hear your take in the comment section, and I will see you guys in the next one.